All right. So today is November 9th, 2019. So the overall consensus as far as the EOS community right now, it seems to be that we're still in this state of transition. Everybody's trying to kind of roll with the punches, so to speak. You know, every time it seems like things are going good, and they definitely are going good, no doubt about that. But every time it seems like we're, at that point of, you know, it's funny because like I think we're gonna get to a point in EOS where everything functions perfectly, or at least very close to how it's supposed to function and needs to function for mainstream adoption, and like maybe nothing will happen for like maybe a month or something like that. It'll just sort of not go unnoticed but go underappreciated, and then all of a sudden people will be like, yo, I gotta get a part of this. You know what I mean? I gotta go get some EOS. Like, look at the decentralized applications that they're hosting, and look at all the EOS side chains, and like boom, boom, boom. Because these EOS side chains, like legit, they're gonna be the best side chains, like in the industry, as far as I can tell. Like, there's not really that many, I would say, solid side chains, and EOS, the EOSIO side chains, they actually offer a lot of different benefits. I've been looking into a couple of them, and it's actually interesting. Telos in particular, but yeah, I'm excited about this DApp Network hackathon. At first, I was more excited, but I didn't really, I don't know. I didn't plan on participating, but now, just watching um, the videos from everything EOS, and just watching the promotion that's leading up to it, I'm starting to get more and more excited. And it's right around the corner. November 17th, the DApp Network Hackathon will start. So if you're interested, definitely go ahead and register now. But yeah, I personally, like, I got super inspired about it. So the last 2 days I've been working on a Medium post. Yeah, this is gonna be my very first Medium post. So if you enjoy my video content, and maybe you want to check out my written content, this is gonna be the first time for me to do anything on Medium or anything of this nature. So I would definitely appreciate any feedback or criticism that you guys may have. But honestly, I really like the way my article turned out. I mean, I'm pretty much done with it now. I'm just kind of like reading over it, making sure nothing is kind of like wrong, or like I could have maybe phrased it in a little bit better way to make it more understandable. But I was actually surprised. I was taken back on how well I feel like it came out, because the article, like, it starts out, in a way that kind of captures your attention, and it makes you want to read the rest, which, like, is always a good thing, because whenever you start reading something, it's kind of like that first impression. Like, that first couple sentences really makes you know if you want to continue reading the article, if you just want to just put it down. So I really feel like I did a good job with that beginning opening article. And then on top of that, I think it's going to be a great piece of content to consume if you are, well, really for anybody, but definitely somebody who is not very familiar with the DApp network. I think it explains, even if you're not very familiar with crypto in general, this article really takes you back to, I would say, 2017 up until now, and I just kind of walk you through like the journey, what happened, the ups, the downs, and where we are today, and how we get to where ultimately we need to go. So I think for anybody who was like on the outside and was like, I don't really know about this crypto stuff. I've been kind of sitting on the sidelines for the last couple years, but you know, I think it would be a good read for that type of person because they're gonna read it and be like, yo, like this is crazy. Like I see it. Like nothing that I wrote in the article was overly technical. And if it is a little bit technical, I make sure to post links, and I make sure to post things where you can sort of go and get a little bit better understanding of certain concepts. Like for example, inter-blockchain communication. The DApp network has that video, that viral video that went on Twitter. Dan Larimer retweeted it, and it shows on one side the EOS node running, and then on the other side it shows the Ethereum node and sort of the command prompt, and it shows that you're able to pretty much pass the code from one chain to another. So I got that linked in there. I got a lot of good links to Liquid Apps. So I'm happy about the way that turned out. Honestly, I had bought a Medium account like a couple months ago, and like that was one of my goals. I was like, yo, I'm gonna write an article, and I definitely was like, I'm just waiting for the right moment. I definitely want to produce more written content. That's a goal for me. I want to definitely start writing more, just because I feel like the more I do it, the better I'll get. So for right now, it's like, okay, this one, and like, again, surprisingly, I think it came out pretty well. But I know if I continue to do it, I'll just get better and better, and ultimately more knowledgeable. So I'm excited about that. And who knows, if this content goes good, I definitely plan on doing some more written content for the Bancor airdrop, because that I've talked about it in previous videos. I do think is going to be huge as far as decentralized finance, as far as getting more people involved, getting more people interested in cryptocurrency and decentralized finance, because overnight we're gonna add 60,000 new users into the decentralized finance space. And I've talked about it before, but that is going to be massive, because there really aren't that many, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see many successful decentralized applications. For me, what I'm looking for when it comes to decentralized finance applications is an application that is simple to use. It's something that somebody from the traditional finance world could literally be explained to, explain it to them like a 5-year-old. They understand it. They understand very quickly how they can get their ROI, or return on investment. And on top of that, they can hold custody of their assets, because that is a big thing. That is a big deal. The ability to have full control over your assets and still be able to generate a return is something that decentralized finance should offer, in my opinion, because that is completely different than the traditional financial system. Whereas if you normally want to get a return, what you have to do is you have to trust somebody else with your funds, and based on the amount of trust, or based on the reputation of that vendor or whatever it is that you're investing in or letting generate a return on your investment, you will get paid out higher returns based on the amount of risk that you take. Whereas in a decentralized finance mindset or mentality, as an investor, you should be thinking, okay, how can I loan my money out? And realistically, all I have to trust now is a smart contract. All I have to trust is that code that is audited by third parties and peer reviewed and submitted to GitHub. Several eyes have looked at it, is legit and functions properly. And if I see it functioning properly, over time what's going to happen is more and more trust is going to be gained, and there are going to be more trust in smart contracts than actual traditional financial investments. So that's going to be huge as far as switching everybody in the financial sector over to blockchain, because everybody is they're going to want a environment that requires less trust, and an environment that not only requires less trust, but because of the efficiencies of technology, can actually give you an even higher return. So what does this essentially mean? Well, the way I'm looking at it is, you know, and this is kind of a weird way to look at it, and I don't know, I could be wrong on this, but the way I'm looking at it is, your money, because of cryptocurrency and because of blockchain and because of DeFi, almost goes a lot longer now. So, obviously, because of inflation, $1 million is not worth what it used to be worth back in the day. $1 million, you were basically a Rockefeller. You know what I mean? Somewhere along the lines, $1 million became a lot of money, but it's still a life-changing amount of money, but it's not gonna set you up for life if you're not smart with it. But $1 million today, liquid, with the knowledge of decentralized finance and understanding of these systems, like, forget about it. Like, you know what I mean? You are gonna be able to generate a stupid high return, and you could, who knows? Maybe you could be making off of that $200,000 a year, just off of $1 million. And if that's the case, you know what I mean? Like, instantly it just changes the game, because, like I said, the more time that becomes a thing, every single year that somebody's able to generate that type of return, it sort of kind of puts pressure on every single other investment. And if every single other investment is quote unquote a bubble, that's got a lot of air in it, a lot of people make this claim, well, then you're going to have a lot of people with a lot of capital who have to strongly think, how can I invest my money and get these type of returns? And I want to do it in a safe way, and people have been doing it. So there's only two things that could really happen. Capital is going to fly out of assets that don't provide such a high return, and it's going to fly into these DeFi applications and companies, or they're going to have to innovate the technology in some type of way. And I think it's going to be probably a combination of both that ends up happening. So that should be interesting. Yeah, so I'm definitely excited. The book club thing is going better than even. I'm happy to see where it's going. It's going pretty good. I'm pushing through the book, but I actually want to make a bigger push to try and kind of finish this book. It's taking me longer than I thought it would. Still a good read, Andrew Yang, The War on Normal People, but so many people have like offered me suggestions on what I should read next, and I'm like super interested to read like so much stuff now that it's like kind of like my OCD or my ADHD is just kind of like taking me in all different directions, but I'm like, nah, finish this, you know what I mean? Because it is a very informative book. Whether you agree with everything or not, it still has a lot of good information in there. So I'm definitely gonna make a push to finish that. And yeah, if you're interested in joining the Telegram group, the Telegram group has been pretty interesting, pretty exciting, a lot of life in there. I'll put it in the comment section below, so you guys can link up and we can chat up. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say today. I know things are kind of in a moment where it's, like I said, a transition period, but don't feel discouraged about that. Honestly, and this is just me coming from experience, the best thing you can do in times like this is to get involved, in any way that you can, you know what I mean? Because the more you get involved, the more knowledge you gain, the more you're going to feel empowered to Just hodl, hold your cryptocurrencies, and not to sell in these low prices that we're at right now, because believe me, like, it's all gonna turn around like very quickly, and the foundational bricks are being laid, and really we're at a point now where something big is about to happen, like, for sure. Like, I feel that there's no way, I'll go on the record right now and say there's no way that 2020 is going to be anything like 2018 or 2019. Whether that be good, whether that be bad, there's going to be a shakeup. This market is going to move. Like, there's no way they can manipulate the market in the same way they have, at the same sort of range they have, for a whole nother year. I'm going to say that right now. I don't believe that. So either we're going to make a huge breakdown, which is always possible. I don't think it will happen. Or we're going to make a huge break up, and we're going to have to, at least approach new all-time highs to sort of keep interest, in the space. And there certainly is interest in the space. But everybody's just kind of sitting on the sidelines and just kind of waiting for somebody to make that first move. That's usually what it takes. Somebody makes that first move, especially if it's a big player, and then other people jump in and domino and follow behind them, and then it just kind of like it dominoes, and it creates like a tsunami effect for the price. And believe me, you'll be happy, and you will deserve every gain that you get in this market if you just hold right now, and don't let anybody convince you to sell, or even doubt yourself and your decision to sacrifice for something that is going to change your life. Because I get it, it's definitely a sacrifice. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, like, all the money that I dumped in this market when I could have been, having a good time, or whatever the case may be, going on a trip or a vacation, but instead, you have discipline, and you sacrifice yourself, and you make choices, and you cut back where you probably could afford to spend more. I mean, that's not easy, you know what I mean? So, big props to anybody who's doing that, who's making moves for their future. And yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys updated as far as the crypto environment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.